قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد، اعلم أرشدك الله لطاعته أن الحنيفية ملة إبراهيم، أن تعبد الله وحده مخلصا له الدين، وبذلك أمر الله جميع الناس وخلقهم لها، كما قال تعالى: وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون. ومعنى يعبدوني يوحدوني، وأعظم ما أمر الله به التوحيد، وهو إفراد الله بالعبادة، وأعظم ما نهى عنه الشرك، وهو دعوة غيره معه. والدليل قوله تعالى: واعبدوا الله ولا تشركوا به شيئا. We stopped at the statement وبذلك أمر الله جميع الناس. This is what Allah commanded all people with. What did He command all people with? To worship Allah alone sincerely. The previous sentence that we took, that's what He meant. All that we spoke about in the previous two classes, I believe, when we started chapter 2, chapter 3, following Millat Ibrahim and following it sincerely, that's what He means Allah commanded us to do. And that's why we gave last week a practical example on following Millat Ibrahim sincerely and ikhlas, a practical example of what we see and what appears to us, and Allah knows what's in the hearts of a present day situation. The author said Allah commanded all people. Commanded here is what's wajib, because the word commanded, amara, comes to mean a wajib. It can come as well to mean a mustahab, which is liked or preferred. That which is liked or preferred to do can come as a amr. Here, in this sentence, what he means, it's the wajib type. And we'll talk about that inshallah in Usoor, how it can be when it's wajib and when it's not. Here, it's not only wajib, but the highest level of wajib, because this is the principal root foundation of the deen and belief. The foundation that everything is founded on. Then he said, Allah commanded all people, and he used the word an-nas. He said an-nas, which means human beings. Muslim and kafir. An-nas includes all human beings, Muslim and kafir. Now here, when he used the nas, Allah commanded all people, and he said an-nas, had the author used, rahmatullah alayh, khalq instead of nas, meaning creation, that would have been more precise. And many ulama commented on that who taught me, rahmatullah alayhim. Why? Because nas means humans, which is right. Allah commanded people. But there's more than nas that were commanded with tawheed. There's the jinn. The jinn are not included in the Arabic word nas. Khalq would mean creation, and that would include the jinn and the ins, the jinn and the humans. Jinn are obligated to follow the Tawheed sincerely like us. So would have been probably more accurate to use the term khalq instead of nas, because nas only includes human being. Khalq means human being and jinn, and Allah commanded the jinn and the human to follow the Tawheed. Then the author says, وَخَلَقَهُمْ لَهَا. And it was for that, or for this, that He created them for. He created them for what? Again, for what we've been talking about for the past 2 classes since we began this chapter, to follow Millat Ibrahim, which means follow the pure Tawheed with sincerity. I just said right now, had he used the word khalq instead of nas, it would have been more accurate and precise. There's another issue here. Pay attention what he said. This is what Allah, focus, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded all people with, and this is what He created them for. Now, had he switched the statements around, it would have been better. Why? Why would have been better? To say He created them for it, and He commanded them with it. He created them for it, and He commanded them with it. Why would it have been better had he switched it around? Because which comes first? Were we created first, or were we commanded first? He created, then He commanded. So some of the ulama said it would have been better that He mentioned them in order. Then He mentioned the proof for this, as He always does at the end of the sentences. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I did not create jinn and mankind except that they should worship me. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ وَبِذَلِكَ أَمَرَ اللَّهُ جَمِيعَ النَّاسِ وَخَلَقَهُمْ لَهَا كَمَا قَالَ تَعَالَى وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Let's pause with this verse now. وَمَا. وَمَا means I did not. وَمَا means I did not. خَلَقْت means I create. I did not create. خَلَقْت, create. I did not create. Jinn, you know the jinn. The jinn is a matter of al-ghayb, unseen. Jinn is an entity that is invisible. We don't see it. Sometimes we may see it, but that's exceptional. Its original creation is that it's unseen. We don't see it. We know of it, that which Allah told us. They were created from fire. The jinn were called jinn lijtinanihim. Al-ijtinan huwa al-istitar. They were called jinn because of the root word of jinn, which means hidden. And they are a hidden creation. The word al-junnah is derivative from the same word of jinn. And it's a name for niqab. Why is it named for niqab? Because it's a covering for a woman like niqab, where it keeps her hidden. And that's why it was called that, because her face remains hidden. From the same root word. Al-junnah. قلت al-junnah. Al-junnah هي الكلمة الأخرى للنقاب. الجنة الجنة غطاء لرأس المرأة ووجهها ما عدا العينين. Al-Junnah is a cover for a woman where she shows only her eyes, what keeps her hidden. Also, Al-Jinan, from the same root word, Al-Jinan, which is the heart. It comes from the same root word. Why is the heart called? Jinan? Because it's hidden in the rib cage. Someone will say, well, we can see the heart with the operation. Yeah, you can, of course, with the operation, but the origin of it is that it's not seen. And it's exceptional to see it. Just like the jinn. Their origin is that they're hidden from us, even though in exceptional situations, one may be able to see them. More than that, even from the same root word is Jannah. May Allah grant us, all of us, Jannah. Among the reasons it was called Jannah is because its delights are hidden from us. That's one of the reasons it was called Jannah. فَلَا تَعْلَمُ نَفْسٌ مَا أُخْفِيَ لَهُم مِّن قُرَّةِ أَعْيُنٍ جَزَاءً بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. In Surah Al-Sajdah, no one knows what's hidden for them of delight as a reward. أخفى الجزاء لأنهم أخفوا العمل. Allah hid the reward because they hid the deeds. So Allah kept something hidden for you, and that's Jannah, or in Jannah. Jinn is part of believing in ghaib, and anyone who denies them is kafir, because they are in the Quran, and they're in the Sunnah, and they're in Ijma'. After he mentioned jinn, he mentioned ins. And ins, like we said, is human. Allah said, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ. And they were called ins from amiability, because people like and need amiability among each other. It's essential to human beings, and they strive for it. So that is where the root word of ins, or humans, comes from in Arabic. Illa. Illa means except that they should. Illa. لِيَعْبُدُونَ. لِيَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا لِي. إِلَّا لِي is a tool to limit and restrict. حصر وقصر in Arabic. It's among, the way it's worded here, highest levels and forms of limiting and restricting something. Here, all matters and wisdoms behind the creation of human being and jinn were denied, except for worship. It's limited to and restricted to worship. The hasr and qasr, it's called hasr and qasr in Arabic, limiting and restricting to a certain matter. And in this verse, illa li is among the highest ways to do that. Next, then he commented on the verse saying, وَمَعْنَا يَعْبُدُونَ يُوَحِّدُونَ وَمَعْنَا يَعْبُدُونَ يُوَحِّدُونَ وَمَعْنَا يَعْبُدُونِ يُوَحِّدُونِ. And the meaning of worship of ibadah here, he said, the meaning of ibadah is to single Allah in worship, in tawheed. And the meaning of ibadah is to single Allah in tawheed. When he said the meaning of worship of ya'budun is yuwahidun, which is to single Allah in worship in tawheed, he means that tawheed is from the meanings of ibadah. Tawheed is from the meanings that he's trying to define ibadah. Tawheed is among the meanings. He defined tawheed, he defined ibadah, but that's not a definition. Here he means that tawheed is from or among the meanings of ibadah. Among the meanings of ibadah, not the full definition. You should know that ibadah, worship, is broader than just tawheed. So ya'budun, yuwahidun, it didn't just mean it's only tawheed. Ibadah is tawheed, but not only tawheed. It includes other aspects. It includes salah, siyam, hajj, and other matters that fall under ibadah, not just tawheed. In Arabic, it's common and known to define a term with a portion of what it means. And this is what he did here. In Arabic, it's called تفسير الشيء ببعض أفراده. تفسير الشيء ببعض أفراده. Here, Imam Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, rahimahullah, that's exactly what he did. He defined ibadah, which is worship, in a portion of its definition, which is tawheed. He can do that, but you have to know, and we have to know, that's not all of the definition, because ibadah, like I said, is broader than that. The author may have chosen this definition possibly because it was narrated by Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma, who said everywhere in the Quran that you see a'buduni, a'budullah, it means wahidullah. A'budullah means wahidullah. At-Tabari also narrated that Ibn Abbas interpreted the verse in Surah Al-Fatiha, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ. He said, إِيَّاكَ نُوَحِّدُ وَنَخَافُ وَنَرْجُو. So it's possibly because of that. Or another interpretation, more widely accepted here for ya'budun, is, and this is the more widely accepted interpretation for ibadah, is to show humbleness and humility, dhul, in obedience, and the head matter of that obedience is tawheed. To show humbleness and humility in refraining from prohibitions, and the head matter to refrain from is shirk. This is more general, more broader definition than the earlier one, and it's more encompassing and better. And this is supported by a statement from Ali radiallahu an, and it's the definition also chosen by Ibn Taymiyyah. The second one is the one chosen by Ibn Taymiyyah, and it's a statement by Ali ibn Abi Talib. The author wanted to show by choosing his definition of Tawheed for ibadah that if your worship is not founded on Tawheed, it's not really ibadah. Tawheed is an essential part of ibadah. It's a pillar of it. It's a pillar. You can't stand without it. So the author chose to define ibadah with an essential pillar of ibadah, which is Tawheed, but not all of ibadah. And that's the point. Now, what Tawheed is he referring to here? The author, what Tawheed is he? We took three types of Tawheed before. Rububiyyah, Uluhiyyah, Asma wa Sifat. We took these, we studied them. Which Tawheed is he referring to in this statement? He's referring to Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. He didn't mean all three branches of Tawheed. He was specifically referring to Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. How do we know that he meant this branch, that it's the Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah branch? Because he said ibadah, singling out Allah in ibadah. That's exact definition of uluhiyyah. That's the definition of Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah is also called Tawheed al-Ibadah. That's another name for it. They're just two different names. You can use any one of them interchangeably. You can use Tawheed al-Ibadah and Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah, and both mean the same. Why there's two names? If you look at it in pertaining to Allah being worshipped alone, from the angle of Allah being worshipped alone, it's uluhiyyah. It comes from ilah. If you look at it from the angle, the acts solely of the human being who's doing the act, or the jinn, being solely for the sake of Allah, then it's ibadah, it's worship. It's Tawheed al-Ibadah. So both terms work for Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. This Tawheed requires to face Allah in your worship directly, and to be your act to be solely for the sake of Allah. Nothing small or big to be other than to Allah. And then to know that the ibadah is proper. To learn that the ibadah is proper. That's part of Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. The Tawheed the author is referring to here is the Tawheed of worship. It's got to be sincere and in accordance. This was the Tawheed that the mushriks went astray because of during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Most of the striving of the messengers ﷺ with their people was because of this category of Tawheed. وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. We sent a messenger to every nation ordering that they should worship Allah alone. وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ in Surah Al-Nahl. Worship is not correct except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whoever violates this tawheed is a mushrik, even if he affirms the other two tawheeds. Even if he believes in Tawheed al-Rububiyyah and Tawheed al-Asma' al-Sifat. إِنَّهُ مَنْ يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ الْجَنَّةِ. Whoever associates anything in worship with Allah, then Allah forbid paradise on him. And his abode will be to fire. And his abode will be to fire. Keep in mind the type of worship in the verse encompasses all of worship. إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. It's all worship. But it mainly means the worship that's the test from Allah on this earth. That's the real core meaning of it. The worship that's a test that determines who accepts the truth and who rejects the truth. Who ends up being a winner in the life after, who ends up being a failure in the akhirah. The type of worship here is the same that Allah mentioned in many other verses. The worship meant is the worship of Allah alone. The worship or test that has been commanded on people. The main worship, the Tawheed of Allah, which is mentioned in other verses. Ya ayyuhan nasu u'budu rabbakum. U'budu rabbakum. The main Tawheed. وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ ذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ رَبُّكُمْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُوَ خَالِقُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ فَاعْبُدُوهُ وَاسْأَلْ مَنْ أَرْسَلْنَا قَبْلَكَ مِنْ رُسُلِنَا أَجَعَلْنَا لَهُم مِّن دُونِ الرَّحْمَنِ آلِهَةً يَعْبُدُونَ. in this verse and in the verses that I mentioned, is the verses that have the worship that's a test from Allah that determines who goes to heaven and who goes to hell. الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ. The test, the one that Allah created us for. إِنَّا خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِن نُطْفَةٍ أَمْشَاجٍ نَبْتَلِيهِ. The test. That's what we were created for. إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا مَا عَلَى الْأَرْضِ زِينَةً لَهَا لِنَبْلُوَهُم. The test. All these verses say test. وَهُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ فِي سِتَّةِ أَيَّامٍ وَكَانَ عَرْشُهُ عَلَى الْمَاءِ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ. So the ibadah here is the test that we were created for. The test that will determine who goes to heaven and to hell. Ali ibn Abi Talib and Ikrimah said, ibadah here means that they worship me alone. That's it. That's the test we were created for. Al-Rabi' ibn Anas and Ibn Atiyah attributed this tafsir that I just mentioned, that it being the main test, to Ibn Abbas as well. Another opinion is some said, Ya'budun here means that they are forced into submission. This is a different meaning. They're forced into submission and humility to Allah, willingly or unwillingly. That's a true fact, but not the most accurate tafsir of this particular ayah. Why? Because the verse specifies jinn and ins. Had it been the forced type of ibadah where we're forced to submit to Allah in a way, it would have included other than the human and jinn. Because everything submits to Allah, not just the human and the jinn. Everything submits in humility to Allah. It would by force. It would have included animals and mountains and trees and rocks. That, not having that in the verse, shows that this ibadah here is the test from Allah to worship Him. The test that we are tested with in this life, the test of our life that that shows who wins and who loses. The verse also says, لِيَعْبُدُونَ. لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Meaning that there is an act we have to do, which is to worship Him. Had the ibadah that's in this verse been the one that's a forced submission to Allah, then there would be no act needed on the behalf of human beings, Allah or jinn. Allah forced them into submission. So no act is required on behalf of creation. Yet the verse specifies لِيَعْبُدُونَ, that there's an act that's requested of people. So that means the worship in this verse, the يَعْبُدُونَ over here, we have to do something. In forced submission to Allah, we don't need to do anything because it's forced. So here it says لِيَعْبُدُونَ, there's something we have to do. It shows that it's the ibadah that's a test from Allah in this life. The verse comes in a chain of verses also to vilify those who worship other than Allah. Had the verse meant the forced submission to Allah, as some stated, there would be no need to vilify or warn, which is contrary to the chain of verses that we have here. He vilified and warned those who don't follow the righteous way. The forced submission doesn't need that.